Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the Board States podcast. I am your host, Red Rover Reggie, joined as always by the Jump Rope Jazz, and we feel like kids again today because we are playing Tag, the mid-year board game tag to be precise, and as gamers we are always kids at heart. Our main topic is to participate in the 4th annual mid-year board game tag, invented, created, whatever you want to call it, and spread around the interwebs by yours truly, Rolling Reggie, over on my YouTube channel. So I've got 8 prompts that Jazz and I are going to go back and forth answering. And I have already answered them over on YouTube. So these are my second answers. I get to cheat and give more answers because it's always hard to pick, as Jazz surely just went through. After that, we're going to do our En La Mesa segment, as we always do, which is our first impressions. And I'm going to be talking about a game that hit my table recently a lot called JinxO, and Jazz will be talking about Seashells. But before that, we usually will do a state of mind. Today, I feel like our main topic really is a state of mind already. So I'm going to just give a quick recap, and we're going to make it fun gamery here, of the Origins Game Fair, which I came back from very recently. If you notice, we were gone last week. That's because I was gone and we did not get a chance to record. So Jazz, why don't you let me know on from 1 to 5, just pick a number. That's what you get to do, between 1 and 5, and that
I like
will decide.
these types of games. Yeah. Let's go with a number 4.
4. Okay, so I'm going to give 4 takeaways. That's it. So
Okay.
I'll just give. So I was like, if you did 1, I'll just try to pick one thing. So I'll just give 4 takeaways to my trip to Origins. Number 1, I have to shout out Neon Gorilla. He's a buddy of mine from Seattle. We never met in real life, and we hung out pretty much the whole time from Seattle. PNW boy. So shout out to Neon Gorilla. That's takeaway number 1. Takeaway number 2 was that the Instagram folks out there were just so awesome. So many people that are board game creators over on Instagram that I had never met in real life. Audrey and Tabletop Ticker and Tabletop Vibes and Laura, obsessed with board games. There's so many people. I will miss too many if I don't say them all, but shout out to all those people. And then my 2 other takeaways that are negative. If you said 2, it was just going to stay positive. But since you went to 4, I've got 2. Number 1, I think the library was bad. They made some really bad decisions with the gaming library.
Okay.
And for someone coming from so far away, it just really dampened my experience. I couldn't go and just buy a bunch of games and play them. I was relying on playing the library, and the line was long. The selection was small, in my humble opinion. And they ask you for your ID, and it slowed everything down. So they hold your ID while you rent one board game.
Oh, wow.
And that's, I totally understand. But at the same time, they're also scanning your badge, which has all your information.
Correct.
So it's like, now if I go back and give you back the board, if I don't go back and give you back the board game, I can't go out and get a drink in the middle of the day or something, because there's all this great food outside. It was a really weird choice. I really did not like the gaming library. I have to say that. Origins, you gotta try to do something better, because my 4th takeaway would be I've had a lot more fun at Dice Tower West. I think Dice Tower West, even with 3,500 people, not even 18,000, is the superior con. So that I had a great time. I made amazing people, but I was really disappointed with the library, and it kind of dampened my entire experience. I spent more time in the vendor hall than I did gaming, and I go to these cons to do the gaming, and that's what So that's, again, for my taste. So those are my takeaways from Origin. Any follow up? Anything?
Oh yeah, obviously the follow up, Reggie, is when I go to cons, I enjoy meeting new people, or obviously friends that you meet online or on the interwebs, right? But I'm not a gaming library person specifically, just because for some reason how we arrange it, someone has the game that I've been interested in playing, right? So it's like there's no need for us to check it out, because we'll either arrange prior to with my friends, hey, we're gonna play this game, or and normally it's like I have my local group that we go with, and then I have other friends that I know are coming in. Like if you were traveling in, right? Me and you would say, hey, what games do we want to play? What day? And we would arrange that. So we would already know who's bringing it in, who's probably purchasing it, XYZ. So I really very rarely use it, but I've heard so many great things about the gaming library at PAX Unplugged and PAX Unplugged. So I'm just trying to I'm just trying to plug something there, Reggie, for next time you
it.
try to plan a con. But
I wish it wasn't in December. I would go if it was any time of year.
No,
other time of year,
I understand it. And it's the reason why I don't attend Origins. It's just the wrong time of the year for me. Gen Con, it was one of those where I wanted to make it an attempt, and I did. But for me, I don't think I'd go to Gen Con again. It's just too large. I feel like there was too much for me to really enjoy the most of it. And I felt like I was just gaming in different hotel halls and stuff during that time. So, but it's still a good con. I probably would go again, but not my first go-to. I guess I'm just spoiled here with PAX. I would love to attend a Dice Tower West or, a Dice Tower East, one of those things. But my obviously, my takeaway is just come to PAX Unplugged.
That's a great takeaway. I mean, to be honest, yeah, I like I said, I had a great time. I just, and I went solo, so I should say that, I don't think I've gone to a big con, like a bigger quote unquote con, like going fully on my own. And I think, that could have affected it too. Because usually I go to Dice Tower with one of my best buds, and we just always can sit down and play a game. But we usually play the games that are there. So I don't know. That's just my expectation. So
yeah, I've had a couple people that I know. They stated they were there as well, and they said for some reason the convention itself seems like it's diminishing in the attendance.
It was a little bit lower. The numbers came out recently. It was like 17,800, which is really still a lot of people. It did not feel that big to me, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where
but that's less.
Are the other conventions kind of overtaking it? Is like PAX coming in as that second primary convention that's starting to, diminish what Origins is?
I think PAX is in terms of size already.
Size-wise,
it definitely
yes.
is. Yeah, this number two.
And it could be a lot of things. The economy, or people saying like, "Oh, I'm saving up for Gen Con," right? In those senses. So,
which is only 6 weeks later.
But,
yeah.
It's sad because I think Columbus is a great spot. I know they have a really good gaming scene from everything I hear, and the people that I know that live in that area. So I'm glad you did enjoy the time and make the best of it that you had, and that's a good thing. Sad that the library wasn't up to your
up to my high standards,
Northwestern standard.
But it's because I'm coming from so far away. Like I would have brought bigger games, that I knew I wanted to play. But I do have to say two other things real quick. Three other things. The food was great. That's number one. So I do have to say there was some great food. The market that's nearby was awesome. Number two, I was away from my 5-month-old daughter, and I do think I was more homesick than maybe other people. So I do think that affected me being gone 4 days.
Definitely.
So take that with a grain of salt, people. But number three, I forgot to shout out again, which I already did last episode, but I did end up staying at Kyle's house, Kyle from Board Game Box Office, and it was awesome. I just have to say thank you so much for letting me crash at your place, because I didn't have a hotel for Wednesday night, and we played Altera, which is not out yet, which was hype. We played Rumble Nation, so we had a great time. So that was it. Okay, that's it. Origins is a great con. I don't think I'll be going back anytime soon, but I'm happy to have experienced a larger con. I think Gen Con is next on my list, maybe in the next 2 or 3 years. Definitely not next year. I think I need to take a break from flying so far away for multiple days while I have a little baby. Okay. The board game tag. I don't know if you've participated, Jazz. Have you participated in rolling Reggie's board game tag in the past years?
No, this is my first time, and I didn't post on Instagram because I knew we were doing this episode and I wanted to save it for this.
Yes, exactly. So what I've done is I have 8 questions usually, and I did the same thing this year. I even had a bonus one this year, or I have a bonus one for content creators typically, and I switched some of the questions up. Last year, these are not the same exact questions from last year. I kept some of the fan favorites, and it's just fun to be like, hey, it's already July. Every year it's like, how in the world did it get to July so quickly? And let's just look back on our year. And it's tough because I feel like sometimes you get to the end of the year and you forget some of the stuff that happened in the first half of the year, and then you have a lot of recency bias. So I always love this check-in. It seems like other content creators out there do love it. There is a playlist. If you want it, you can DM me, or you can find it on my YouTube if you want to just see all the other people who've done it. Shout out to all the amazing people who did the tag. So I really appreciate all you people. So I want you to go first every time, okay? All my answers are my runners up that I didn't answer on the pod. So I'll read the question and you always start, and then I'll give mine after. So question number 1 is what game do you want to take on a second date, aka like impressed you most after the first play?
Like right after the first play, I already took this game out on a second and third date.
Exactly.
But to best answer this question, because this game was the one that fit it the most. It was, and I played it this year, and I had the expansion actually sent to me to check out from Pandasaurus Games, and this game is Shackleton Base.
Nice,
man. I love my heavy Euros. I love space theme, and I had a copy of it in our game group, and that copy came home with me now that I have the expansion. So I've played it. The first time I sat down, I played. I was like, it takes a little bit to learn. Let's first talk about that. This, it's a sci-fi Euro game, and pretty much you're going out and you are colonizing the moon, and you are doing all these different experiments out onto the moon and gathering resources. And there's so much to talk about. I know we have a lot to go, so I don't want to dive deep into it. But what's pretty cool this game is that it's very modular when you play it. You're going to take 3 different corporations, and you're going to pretty much be doing different research studies for these 3 different corporations on the moon, and how well you do your researching and your exploration on the moon, it's going to determine how many points you score. But what's really cool is this is a worker placement style game. You're going out onto the board, placing your moon colonists right out onto the moon. And
wait, did you say moon colonies?
It's just
bloodbath.
Yes, and you may hear that one later. But this is a 2024 design. This is from Fabio Lupiano, right? How do you say that last
Fabio
name?
Lupiano,
right? And Nestor Mangone, right? Two well-known Italian designers. They've teamed up doing so many other things like Autobahn, Merv, and it's just there's so much in this game. It's very difficult to learn the first time because it's like I would go by the rule book, play with these 3 corporations that it recommends for your first game, and then slowly incorporate as you go. And this is a game that I think that if you play it for the first time and enjoy it, you have to take it on a second date because you have to start exploring the other corporations. And if you don't start diving into the other corporations, I think you won't get as much as you can out of this game. I would even say it's like if the game sat meh with you on the first time, sometimes it's one of those where you just didn't really get it that first game. Or maybe those corporations just didn't sit right for your taste, right? Because some of the other ones, they get meatier and they get the different like tracks that you're going up to score your points. It's so good. It is very good. And it's one that I was turned off of originally just from the box art. I wouldn't have this is not one I would have picked up off the shelf, but yeah. Thank you to Pandasaurus for giving me the opportunity to explore the expansion, which I can say that I have explored the expansion, and it just gets better. And it just adds, and the expansion just adds more corporations into the mix. And we talked about this with expansions, right? What I love about expansions is just give me more of something I already know. I don't have to learn a bunch of new things. I just have to learn these new corporations, what they do. Yeah, a more stuff expansion. I love it.
Awesome. Shackleton, you got to shout out the board game hot takes guys. They love this game, and I've never been steered wrong by the Italian designers. I love Darwin's Journey. I just haven't played a lot of them, so I think this is high on my list. Cool. I'll be quick with mine here. This second date game is a trick taker, so it's not super heavy or meaty. And this is Torchlit from All Play. Yes, which I think have you played this one, Jez?
Yes, and I want to take it on. I want to take it on the second date too.
Yeah, and I played it once. Brittany, our friend, who at my local board game club, Brittany and Jake. It's kind of us 3 a lot of times, and they taught me this. I was like, whoa, this is one of those things. The trick taking. I feel like we need to do a dedicated trick taking episode. It's one of those things where trick taking has now become, what's the new twist? It's the same game with a little bit of a twist, and every single time I play one, I'm kind of skeptical now, to be honest. Like I'm excited to play them, but I'm like, I'm not going to be super impressed with this because what else could they do? And this one just does some interesting things. So this is from All Play. It's 2 to 5 players. I have not played the duo mode. It's called like dual mode. I've only played it 3 to 5. And I played it one time. So I think we must have been 4 players. Yeah. So we're playing. And what's interesting is it's got these different rooms, it's very dungeon themed, Dungeons and Dragons kind of. When you win a trick, you get to move your little meeple along one step in the dungeon, deeper into the dungeon. Before the round starts, you take one card from your hand and you play it face down, and the backs of the cards have a torch because you're like lighting your torch of like, how far in the dungeon will I go? It's a bidding mechanism, right? They go from like 0 to 6 or 0 to 7, depending on the player count, right? What's really cool is at the very end of the game, with your last card at the end of the round, you can swap that card for the bid you made. So you do have a chance to kind of pivot if you're really failing on there. But the thing I just wanted to point out is, if you win the trick, you move deeper in the dungeon. Also, if you didn't win the trick, but you played the same number as the player who won the trick. So if, let's say I played a 5 in the lead suit, everybody else played, I'm last, or you're last, Jazz, and you're like, I know I'm not going to win this, but I have a 5 of orange or whatever. You can play that down, and you know you're going to lose the trick no matter what. But just playing the same number as the winner of the trick lets you move forward in the dungeon. And that one is amazing for me because it feels like so many times when you're playing off suit, you really have, it doesn't matter what you play. If you know you're going to lose the trick, it doesn't really matter what you play. And this allows you to do that. That's cool. Also, the person who loses the trick is going to take some of the cards from the trick and place them under the different dungeon rooms. And this is kind of the like gold or the treasure that's awaiting. So basically, wherever you end up, you're going to score based on the cards that are in that room. And the loser of each trick is divvying up the cards to these different rooms. And so there's reasons to win, there's reasons to lose, there's reasons to play certain cards in the offsuit, and it's got a fun little mechanism of moving these things. I will say, the all-play version, I love the box. Thank you, Allplay, for giving me this as a review copy. I actually prefer the art on the first version of the game. I hate to say it. The mechanics are great. I think the production is insane, but I got drawn in by the art from 2024, the original one, but I still really like the way this looks. It's almost, a little horror-like, with D&D. So Torchlit is my second date game.
Oh, great pick. Great pick there.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, number 2. Is just straight up, what's the game you've played the most this year? So which game hit the table more than any other this year, Jazz?
And this is crazy, Reggie, because I think we talked about this game just last episode or maybe the episode before that.
Okay.
And this hands down is Got 5.
Let's go, baby.
Let's down. Go. Like for those that have listened to the previous episodes and heard Reggie talk about Got 5 in his In La Mesa segment. And I think I told you, I said, this is a game that I've got to check out because I think it will go over well.
Yeah. I was really enthusiastic about it.
Super.
And yes. I still love it. It's a great game.
I can tell you that I got it in, I played it. And my wife and I said, let's play it immediately again. Was it? I forgot. I texted you the next day or the same night. I was like, we are 5 games in.
And your wife won all 5
and
of those,
she
right?
won all of them. I can also say that weekend I played the game close to 15, 16 times.
That's a ton. Wow.
And
it plays fast.
It plays fast. And probably say 2 to 2.5 days, pretty much. We woke up that following morning after the first play, and my 7-year-old daughter wanted to play it again because I love it because she can join right in. And it wasn't overly rules complex for her. Yes, the strategy of trying to, figure out the numbers, but trying to get her to pinpoint everything together, and teaching her some of our strategy so she can kind of, have her compute all of this in her brain, and her wanting to play it again and her introducing it to family. It's just great. This game is not going anywhere in my collection. It's staying here for a long time. And I probably have played it almost 30 times so far. And
that is crazy. Yeah.
And it doesn't get old. It's just one of those games. Like, for some people this might get old, but for me, and I told you, for games, I get the enjoyment of the people that I'm with at the table, and seeing my daughter's eyes light up when she figures out a number and she has this and she's ready, and seeing her trying to race, because we're all trying to race to beat my wife. I've only won this game once.
That's crazy.
And like, it's just, my wife is just that good. But and it's funny because my wife goes, let me show you what I'm doing. I was like, I'm doing all of that. I'm
She's
already
just doing it
doing
faster.
all of that. So I just blame it on she's got the luck of the draw on the numbers kind of just being in that same segmented area where it's if you can figure out the ends, you're already set for success. So that's why I blame it on. But
yeah, that's great. It's such a cool game. I mean, we're getting it. We've been playing a lot 2-player. I think we played 10 times just my wife head to head. And I think I do prefer it at 3 or 4. But it was fun to play that because you just feel stress of like, I got to get it before that. And we were roughly winning about 6. I've been tracking in BG stats, so nerdy here, but I've been tracking how many rounds it took. And most games, it's like 6 or 7 rounds only, like turns. And one of us will get it. My wife got her all 5 correct. She got 5. You yelled "got 5" when you got it, and 4 turns one time. And I was like, what can I do? What can I even do against that?
Reg, that's my wife routinely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm struggling.
We'll have to play against each other to just have easier opponents here. That's great. Love it. I couldn't be happier. I'm so glad. It is a great game. I'll be featuring it very soon on the channel of YouTube, Rolling Reggie, here soon. So just no other spoilers besides that. My answer is also a fast game. From 2025, 15 to 30 minutes, 1 to 4 players, designed by Jordi Adon, designer of Stone Spine Architects, Cartographers, great games. This game is called Fliptoons. And I have just played this game a lot. And not only have I played it a lot on Board Game Arena, I have also played it a lot in real life. So it's combined. That's what makes it so high up here. If you've not played this yet, it's really an auto battler. They'll call themselves a deck building game, but what you're going to do is flip 6 cards into a 3x2 grid. We all start with the same deck, and you flip them over, and based on how they come out, they give you different effects. They give you more talent, or fame is what it's called, and the fame is the purchasing power you have, and you can also clean out your deck. You can start removing cards from your deck and buy new cards, and then you flip again. First person to hit 30 fame on a turn triggers the end game, but then we do one final flip. And so what I really love about this, and spoiler for a future episode, it's got a really quick solo mode, also like extremely fast, and it doesn't change the game very much. And I played this in the airport on the way to Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, nice.
I was sitting in the airport, and there was a giant screen in Minneapolis. This was my layover that had the World Cup on. So there's a World Cup game going on.
Oh, perfect.
I'm playing Fliptoons in the airport by myself. Awesome time. So it has been really good. I went into this truly, and I hate to say it, but I went into it wanting to hate it. I did, because I'm such a Challengers fan, and Challengers is the real answer. If you go on YouTube, that was my #1 played game this year. So I think I like this genre. And I don't love the rubber hose cartoon art. It's just not something that like really appeals to me. Like I never played Cuphead or that art, and it still won me over. It is such a great game. I really enjoy it. All I've ever said is it just needs some more cards, and the rumors were true. There is a chapter 2 that was announced with an orange box. It's already on Board Game Arena if you have alpha access, and I've been playing the new characters, and they are dope. And I knew it. That's what I was saying, is like, that's all you needed to do was add some new characters, and now this game will jump even higher in my estimation. So, yep, I'll be getting that day 1 if I can. Fliptoons Chapter 2.
Nice.
All right. Now, question number 3. What was your biggest surprise in the first 6 months of the year, and or disappointment? And I didn't mention it at the beginning, but none of these games have to be 2026 releases. As you already know, we've only been talking about older games, but also we're only talking about from January 1st, 2026 to the present day, like between now. So do you have an answer for both, Jazz, or did some people opted out of disappointment, but it's up to you.
It's weird because like I really couldn't think of a game that truly disappointed me, because it's one of those things, like for me, there's some games that disappointed me probably in that first play, but I want to give it another go. Because sometimes, again, games is the game group that you're playing with. A lot of those things factor into like my choice.
Time of day, how tired were you? What was your mood? There's a lot of factors.
I didn't pick one in that regard, but I did pick a game. I was stuck between 2 games that were my biggest surprise. And the first one is Wine Cellar.
Of course.
From 25th Century Games.
Shout out to Andrew Styles.
The other one is Seashells, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But Wine Cellar, just this really cool drafting game where you're from 25th century designer Andrew Styles, where you are drafting wine bottles and trying to bring them into your cellar, and you're arranging them so you can score points. It's very easy. There's not much to think about. This is one that you can teach as you play and you're ready to play the next game. So I would say going into this, if you're very, driven on, wanting to learn the game and trying to, maximize your score, for everybody in front of the table, don't even worry about doing it on your first play because it's so fast you can do it again. But pretty much everybody's going to be dealt out a card that's going to give them the types of wines that they're going to potentially score bonus points for, and also the countries that they're going to score bonus points for from those wines. And you're going to have a hand of wine cards, and there's a set of wine cards on the table, and you're going to be bidding with the wine cards in your hand to obtain the ones that are in the table. So whoever you're going to go first, you're going to grab that wine card, you're going to place it in your cellar. But everything starts off of that first wine bottle in your cellar, because the second wine bottle that you get in your draft, that's either going to have to go above or below the wine that was previously in there. So the game is played over the course of 8 rounds, and you're pretty much going to be drafting 8 cards. But what's interesting is that the cards you bid with become the cards that you're trying to draft the following round. So they stay out in the center of the table, which adds this additional element to how you draft. What card do you potentially want to draft with, and also possibly get that card back? So you have to plan out the cards in your hand, which it's not overly complex again, but that's it. So at the end of the game, each wine bottle has a placement value. And depending on what spot it is in your wine cellar, whether it's the wine that's at the top, the wine that's at the bottom, or somewhere in the middle, the placement of that in that cellar is going to score different points. So if that wine bottle was in its first spot, it might score you 8 points. But if it was the wine bottle at midway through the 5th bottle in your cellar, it's only going to score you 2 or 3 points. So you have to factor how you're going to draft those cards. But also, use your goal scoring card to get those bonus points. And I really love this game. Plays up to 7, 8 players.
I think 8. I think
8
it goes
players,
up to 8. Yeah.
I haven't played it at its full player count, but I've played it 2 player. I love it. I've played it 3 player, 4 player, 5 player. And I want to play it at its full player count. Love it. Yeah. Vincent Dutrait art, beautiful.
I know,
game.
The art's insane. It is a absolute crying shame that I have not played this game. 1 to 8 players, beautiful art, wine themed. I live in wine country, and it's got like auction and bidding. I mean, it's basically a bidding game. You know, obviously it's like a drafting bidding. It is bad. I need to get this played. It's lightweight. It does remind me, when you explain it like you did, it reminds me of Trinket Trove, and I love Trinket Trove. So I'm like, because you're bidding the cards you bid from your hand become the next market. So yeah, I gotta play this. Really depressing. I haven't played it. Go back to episode 13 if you want to hear us talk about it again. We covered it as En La Mesa, so check it out. Big game, small packages.
Yeah.
All right. Let's cover mine. I do have a disappointment and a surprise. I'll do the disappointment really quickly. And this is a game I did not play only once. I think I could look at my plays. It's under 10, but definitely multiple times. I give it a lot of chances here. And that is a small box card game by the name of Up or Down. And this has those awesome designers. Of course, it's not coming to me right now. You could maybe tell me in a second. I think it's Kiesling and Kramer.
Yes,
and it's
Kiesling
also
and Kramer.
it's CG. And so not only they usually make giant, amazing games like Arc Nova. The box for Up or Down is so high quality. Like, they had no reason making it. It's like got shiny foil. It's beautiful art. It's really sturdy, like just nice quality. But the game just is blah. I really like small box card games. It's something that I really appreciate, and especially when there's like clever play, and I can feel clever, and I just don't feel that way with this game. And I thought maybe there's something I am missing with this game, and I've played it enough times that I truly don't think that's the case. I just think it's a blasé game. Unfortunately, I've played it on Board Game Arena. I've played it in real life multiple times, and it's just not for me. I think it just doesn't do enough. The art is awesome, to be honest, but it's not evoking anything. It's like an elevator theme. It just doesn't feel fun. There's not enough big moments or clever moments for me.
We will agree to disagree on this one, but
oh, you do? Okay, yeah. We have to.
I do enjoy this one. I do.
I don't know what it is. It just doesn't do anything for me. So, The other one that I would say on the opposite side that is bringing back, we talked about this several episodes ago, brought up by our boy Dwayne over at Blackboard Gaming. I have finally played because of Origins. This was not on my list, on my radar before I recorded my YouTube video. Is Neko Syndicate? Okay,
Oh my
Danny
goodness.
Garcia.
I can't believe I forgot this one because it probably would be up there. Yep.
Okay, it is so cool, and it's to the point where it is actually it's innovative. Like, it is truly a mechanism I have never seen before. I would love if anybody has seen this. You're basically running a cat mafia, and you have sushi is your kind of your goods that you're sending out there, and all your different cats have different abilities. There's like the 8 cats that have a different ability that move the sushi along your board. It's kind of like a pyramid style grid,
Correct.
but in a unique way that, like, you start from the top, you put these rooms beneath it. One room goes on the left, one room goes on the right, and then you do it again, and then there's 3 below it. So when you start spending these or start moving these little sushi cubes, they have to kind of follow a trajectory path like down the rooms. And each time you go to a new room, you trigger an ability. It is really clever. It's got that very typical, like, did you meet these public objectives before other people and you'll get some extra points. My only critique of it is it's very heads down. We played it at 4 players and it still was extremely fun. It felt like we got it pretty quickly. We were like maybe 2 rounds and we were like, okay, we understand this game. Even though it's really innovative and unique, it is a must buy for me, especially for solo. I think this would be an incredible solo game, which a lot of people have told me. And it makes me want to, it's my first Danny Garcia, I'm ashamed to say, but it makes me want to go play his bigger games now that, like, I was so impressed with this game that I'm like, I got to go play Barcelona or Windmill Valley or any of the other big ones.
I think you'll love Windmill Valley just because it fits your theme. You know, you like that nature theme stuff, but Barcelona.
The flowers in Netherlands.
Barcelona.
You love Barcelona?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Barcelona is so good.
I highly encourage anyone who loves like an engine building solo, like crunchy puzzle, especially unique crunchy puzzle, check out Neko Syndicate. All right. Question number 4. Yeah, I guess we really got to speed this up. We got, it's just fun talking about games, you know.
It is.
What game's production or art has impressed you the most, Jazz? Question number 4.
I think we've talked about this before when we're doing our episode on Board Game Awards. And I think it's got to be for me the Luthier. Luthier is awesome. Just there's nothing said about this game. I know maybe the theme might not fit a lot of people. The theme wasn't what drew me in. It was the art on this game. Also the publishers over there. Beautiful game. I would.
Is it Paverson?
It's Paverson Games.
The same guys who did.
Why can I think
the
of it?
Drinking one?
Yeah. Yes, Distilled, which is another game that I love, artwork that I enjoy. But yes, this one, the production quality on this game, whether you got the base game or you got the superfied, traditional deluxe. I got the one right in the middle, just for the wood components. But yeah, I love this game. I've got to play it again a couple times because I know I've played it twice. I want to say 2 or 3 times so far this year, and. The art is just stunning on the table. It gets everybody stopping, but nothing said. We can move on because that's I know
it's one. Like with the podcast, I'm like, really, it's hard to do the art of production when we can't show you any pictures here. So you just have to look this one up and trust us. It's beautiful. I will say my buddy Colin Warner has Luthier. I don't know what edition. I think he had one of the top-notch ones. I just touched the box and I was like, what is going on with this? It's like I don't know, raised in certain areas. We opened up. I mean, it's gorgeous. So yeah, that's a great one. I have not played it, so I didn't feel good saying it, but it really stunned me. My answer will also be pretty quick. This is a game I've been really enjoying. I did a full coverage of it over on YouTube. Is Misfit Heroes. This is a Phil Walker Harding. It's got awesome little art, very stylized. You definitely have to like the style. It's very Cartoon Network. The artist clearly is a fan of Steven Universe, which is like an old cartoon, a little after my time, but I love the way these art looks and it's very unique. The thing I'm impressed with really too is the production on the deluxe edition. So AEG did give me all the deluxe components. I did not pay for them myself, but I do have the deluxe like wooden components, the metal components, the neoprene mats. That really elevates this game. You would enjoy it completely on its own, because even the base version, to play the game, you have to have these card crafting cards. There's some clear cards that go in front of the regular cards, and they have to go in these sleeves. And the game comes with some high quality sleeves. I got to be honest, they're not like chintzy penny sleeves or anything like that. So just for the art, the extra production, and especially just how the card crafting works, and having these awesome clear cards that go inside, and you have all this variety. I love playing it. I might enjoy the production more than I even enjoy the gameplay, but we keep playing it because I just love pulling out the components and playing with them. So Misfit Heroes.
Yeah, this wasn't even on my radar. I didn't even know about this game until now. But when what got me wasn't even the title. It wasn't even the art. It's the designer, Phil Walker Harding. Praise be.
Praise be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I'll have to send you some my video on it. I actually really enjoyed this game. It's really cool. Great, that's easy. See, we did it. We're moving faster here. Number 5, a question I'm very passionate about, and I know Jazz is too. What has been your most reliable introductory board game?
Oh, this year, I've played a lot of 25th century stuff this year, and we're going back to 25th century. And this one, we got to talk about the Great Doctor, Botswana from Reiner Knizia. It's the game is just so easy. I think we've talked about this already on the pod. You have the animal cards, and you're pretty much playing them to certain columns. And once there's once there's 6 animals of that column, you pretty much trigger the end game. But you're just playing a card, collecting an animal, and you're based off of the top card in that column for each of those animals. That's how much those animals that you've collected are going to be worth. And man, it's just great. I can teach this to anyone. We have fun. You get very thinky turns, but yeah, it's just a fun game. I will never get rid of my copy. My copy is special because I have a headless giraffe in my copy, and the way it came printed that way. And it's funny because I think I had the conversation with Chad over at 25th Century about this, and I was like, I love my copy. Like, I don't, and it's like this one headless giraffe, and the way everything printed, it was perfect. Like, I don't, there's, people complain about they want the updated meeple or not. Nah, give me my misprint.
Misprints, for whatever reason, are very popular. You've got this Venom comic that is all black, and was a misprint. There was like 100 of them, and that is like super valuable now. And there's like a famous upside down stamp that's like a plane that's upside down. That's the one that is worth like thousands and thousands of dollars. People love that, so that's great. Botswana, interesting choice. Guess what? Full crossover.
Nice.
100%
nice.
crossover. That is literally the one I put down here.
Yeah.
And I wrote it down a couple weeks ago. We were preparing for this. We were going to record like last week or something. And then over this weekend, I went and spent time at the coast. Oregon coast is beautiful. I did a little weekend over there with my wife's family, and we played a bunch of games, and Botswana hit the table one time. And it was just such a hit. It was one of those games, it's more thinky than you would think.
Correct. Yes.
But to teach it, I say, hey, on your turn, you play a card and you grab an animal. Yep. That is it. That is literally the rules. Yep. And I just love that about the good doctor himself, where he'll give you, it's such a light rule set, but the complexity, when you start playing, people are like, oh, like if I have the 0 in my hand, then I can kind of dictate that hippos will be worth something. If I hold the 0 the whole time, I should grab hippos because I know they'll be worth at least 1 point. It was really great. I was kind of like sandbagging a little, which I don't like to do. And then towards the end, like the final round, I just kind of went berserk after I taught them and won the game. But it is a really fun game, and it's really a stock game, which is interesting. That's such an interesting thing that they made it this theme, and I love it. So shout out to Botswana. I cannot believe we had a full crossover. I did not think that would happen.
I think it's great, and you said it right. It's one game that it's pick a card, play a card, but it gets thinky. I played this with my game group, and I was a little bit taken back by how we would like this because I played a heavy game, right? And it was just a
Like you weren't
wind down.
sure.
We had
Yeah.
fun times, and it was one of those where we played it like I want to say 3 or 4 times, and we enjoyed it just because that little crafty thinkiness. When you're playing with like heavy gamers, you're like, all right, do I want to throw this down? Do I want to not throw this down? Yeah, so that's why.
Yeah, maybe I should think. I'm curious. Yeah, I should play it with some like with my gamer friends. I would curious how that would go. Yeah,
it was fun.
Awesome. Okay, question number 6. Which quote cult of the old unquote title did you discover for the first time this year? I set a rule of 10 years or older, but obviously if you have to fudge the rules, obviously 5 years ago is an eternity in the board game world. I get it, but do you have a cult of the old title, Jazz?
Oh yes, Cults of the Old. We're going 19 years ago. All right,
okay.
This game I discovered for the very first time, and this one was Zularetto.
Zularetto, a Spiel des Jahres winner.
Spiel des Jahres winner. This one was sent over to me by Rio Grande Games. This is designer Michael Schott. I think Shocked is how you would say it.
Yep.
But I have played its baby cousin, Coloretto, and I love Coloretto. I was introduced to it a few years ago by my good buddy Bob Crowell of One Board Family, who introduced Coloretto to me, him and my buddy Isaac, who runs Gaming with Sidekicks. And it's just a great game, like little card game. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. They're like, oh yeah, this is like Zularetto. And Rio Grande sent me a package, and this happened to be in there. It was one that I thought my daughter might be able to grasp because we've played Coloretto. It might be just a little bit too thinky for her yet, just because there's so many moving parts within it. But I would also say it's probably too light for many gamers to say, oh yeah, I would want to add this to my collection.
Yeah.
But in my collection, it works for me because it's a game that has a little bit more of a table presence. It is old, cardboard chits, everything, but pretty much all you're doing is you're playing, you're drafting animals from trucks in the center of the table, and you're placing them into your zoo, into different pens, and you're placing the male and the female, and then they'll have a offspring, and then you'll place that into your pen. You're trying to move them to larger pens to accommodate more, and pretty much you're going to score points based off of how full those pens are. Also, how many animals are in your like holding cell. I forget what it's actually called, but I call it like the park entrance, really. But when they're in the stable, I think it's called the stable. You'll get negative points for animals that are in your stable, but you're also placing out different markets or vending stalls out onto the board. It has a simple rule set. It has a more advanced rule set. It's just a fun one. My wife and I have played this multiple times. She's asked to play this game, so anytime I get that type of question,
rare, super rare, ultra rare, we gotta take that.
Yeah, and it's just one of those where I wanted to play this just to see how well it would go over with my daughter, and it was just a little bit too high for us. I kind of put it away. My wife was like, "Do you want to play that zoo game again?" So yeah. I like it.
That's
very,
great.
very
Love
good.
it. If you know me, Coloretto is one of my OGs. I've talked about it many, many times. I don't think I did bring it up on our last episode, but I bring it with me to every convention. That is something you can always find. I did get it played with the board game box office guys, Kenny and Kyle and Max, and we had a good time. We were playing it at the bar, so we just kind of played it like while we were drinking, which I think it's a great game for that. I love Coloretto, so I've always wanted to try Zularetto, and I just never have. So especially that it's like family weight, maybe it would be great for it isn't that like Spiel weight, so I think that's perfect, and I love Coloretto, so I probably might like it. Nice. Awesome. My Cult to the Old is 2011, so we're only going 15 years ago. You got me beat. You went older than me. This is a Steffenfeld game by the name of Trajan, okay? Nice. Roman, set in ancient Rome, and it's got like a Mancala mechanism. And so the Mancala is not a shared board. It is your own personal Mancala board with 6 sections or little bowls that you pull from. You move it around. It is a brain burner in terms of AP. You have to think like, oh, am I going to move this pile? You have so many options on your turn, which a lot of people love that type of search. And then each of the different actions kind of is its own mini game also. So like there's all these different mini games out on the main board. So if you love Mancala, if you love mini games, you should have played this a long time ago. It's got that point salad-y nature. It's got some typical Castles of Burgundy stuff that you might see, some Feld iteration that he does, but also it had some unique stuff. And I think the first play I was like, oh man, I just don't think Mancala, it's not something that my brain does well. Like I enjoy it, but I'm not good at it. And that's an interesting thing, because a lot of times if I don't like something, I might not enjoy it. This one, it's like, gosh, I just wish it came easier to me. I have to literally sit and go through every single option before I do it. But I had a really good time. We played it 2 players. Shout out to my buddy Colin, who is the Euro guy. He showed me this. I've been trying to just utilize his entire collection to play all the stuff in Felds. He knows I'm just using him for his Feld games. I want to play Bonfire next, and he's the one introducing me to the Italian designer. So. Yeah, we need to play more of these. It's also completely language independent, so I really appreciate that. There's my favorite one was the Senate one. There's you're basically getting a certain number of votes, and every turn if you have the majority vote, you get one of these bonus end game private objectives, and you're kind of fighting for that the whole game. There's these different grid one. There's a lot of cool mini games. You can see the back of the box. We'll see all the mini games on there. So yeah, shout out to Trajan. I really enjoyed it, and I only played it the one time. I would like to play it again.
Nice. This is one that I missed out on game night. That my friends had played this one, so I'm interested to check this one out as well.
Yeah, it's a cool one. I think it would be worth your time. Have you played many Mancala games?
The one that hits me that I always think of with Mancala is 5 Tribes. 5 Tribes, yeah. Yeah, 5 Tribes. I'm trying to think of the other one. It'll come to me.
Is it? It's not Madcala? No.
Crusaders. Thy Will Be Done.
Crusaders.
I really enjoyed that one. That's, you have a little rondel Mancala where you're dropping off things to, activate certain pie sections in your action selection board. Very good game. I think that game is so underrated. I used to have it into my collection. I gifted it to a friend. Nice. And it's one of those where I know he's probably not playing it because he's really not a gamer, but he did enjoy that game. I probably might find a way to get it back into my collection.
Maybe I'll get that back later. Awesome. All right, cool. Good choices. Number 7, we're almost done here. What is currently, this should be a fast one here. What is currently at the top of your wish list?
Oh man, I'm stuck on 3 games. I'm just going to name them out. Actually, yeah.
Easy. Just rattle them.
Concordia Special Edition. I back that one. I'm excited for that one.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Rosalie, which is going to be coming to crowdfunding later this year. They're the same designers that did Sweetlands. I love Sweetlands. It's going to be a lighter weight game. Awesome. I love me some Feast for Odin. So The Danes, which is supposed to be...
that looks insane.
It's supposed to be... Looks beautiful. There's not much out around it too, so I guess it still heightens this level of intrigue. But the one that I'm excited to probably get this year is Eternal Decks.
Yeah.
It's
finally available now. That looks so good. I've only heard amazing things about it.
Same thing. Heard so many amazing things. Cooperative game. It looks great on the table.
Shout out to Portland Game Collective. Okay, well, I only had one answer, but I will do there's 2 crowdfunding ones that I saw at Origins that I think I need to back, and I might have missed one of them actually already. I need to go check this here. By the time you guys are listening to this, I'll have either backed it or not. Stone Spine Architects has a huge expansion called Invasion that adds a whole new thing, kind of like Boss Monster, where it's they're adding these heroes that are going to come to your dungeon, and so you need to take out these heroes in your so not only you're building this awesome puzzle, and then they add this new thing you're competing for these heroes to come to your dungeon and defeat them. It is a must buy for me. I have to get that because Stone Spine was my favorite game of 24. I saw Rolling Deep at the Bitewing Tables game, and it looks like the coolest solo game of all time. It truly looks amazing. It is the Balatro inspired game, but with dice.
Yes.
And there's these big chunky dice, and you pop off one of the sides and you replace them. You upgrade the dice as you play the game, and you get all these cards, and it's by Peter C. Hayward, who's kind of a mad genius. I met him and spent a lot of time with him at Origins. I didn't even shout him out. He was probably the highlight of the con for me. Played 3 of his prototypes, by the way. And got a couple of his games that I will talk about in a future episode. Shout out to that. The game that is already out that I also played at Origins that I think I need to buy is Formaggio. And we've talked about this many times. It is the sequel. It is the expand-alone, you could call it, to Fromage. So you could integrate it with the original. But I like all 4 minigames in Formaggio better than I like the minigames in Fromage. And it's also Italian. My wife comes from an Italian family. So it's like, this is a must-buy. The next game I will purchase with my money will probably be Formaggio.
Nice. That's a great selection right there. I like that.
Awesome.
I like that.
Yeah. All right, number 8, the last one that is really just for anybody out there. Shout out a creator, a podcast, a blog, a local game store, whatever that made your year better.
Oh, I think this one person, I have 2. I have to shout out these 2. This one person, I think, is the one person who always, other than you, Reg, but will contact me, will give me a call, text me, but also is the one person that will give me some game recommendation lists. And he is the one that told me about Neko Syndicate.
Our boy.
This is our boy, Dwayne at Blackboard Gaming. I want to say Dave because he was my buddy. I was just talking to him not too long ago. My game
but
group.
He's also the first guest that we ever
yes,
had.
he's the first guest that we've ever had.
Shout out to Dwayne,
but just Dwayne is just an awesome individual. But I'm talking about a board game channel that I just came across this year that I really enjoy is at Board Game Visuals over on Instagram. And it's such a good comedic work, but great, beautiful presentation on a lot of his Instagram posts. I just love what he's doing. I believe it's Kevin over there.
Kevin, yep. Yeah. Shout out to Kevin.
But great stuff. He comes from almost like a Tim Chuan, like comes from that
photography
background, videography background.
For sure.
But he just does some great things. I like some of the questions that he kind of poses in some of his posts to kind of get you thinking a little bit. One of them he's talking about how a lot of the things we're going to be losing a lot of digital media. He pretty much came up with this great post based off of the Sony PlayStation
5 thing.
That they were going to be getting rid of the physical copies
discs
of games
starting in 2028.
It just made you think about the idea of actual, how you can consume media, and board games being one of those things that, we were saying that we hope doesn't go away, and that's what we appreciate about this hobby.
Yeah, I love that, man. Yeah, I'm looking at the post now. It says, you will own nothing and you'll be happy.
Yeah.
Which is what they want, man. Like we could go on a rant about physical media, but us board gamers, you can pry these games from my cold, dead hands. I will never have a license to play my board games, which is what digital video games are, and I love my video games, but that is such a bummer. I am back into DVDs. I could go on a whole thing now, but my wife and I already got into vinyls, but now I've got a DVD player, and I'm on this hunt for a portable DVD player from like the early 2000s. If I get my hands on one of these, watch out. I'll be watching so many movies. We're going to have to turn this into a movie podcast. All right.
Nice.
I'm going to shout out a podcast. I think I shouted out something. I shouted out the Senate magazine on my YouTube channel, and because it just really is amazing. I get so excited for a new edition of that. But what I'm going to shout out is a podcast I discovered this year, and Jazz is going to laugh at me here, but it is dedicated to the greatest game ever made, known as Wingspan. And this podcast is called Full Tuck, and I love it so much. I've listened to every episode since I've discovered them. 2 Brits, one who's living in Australia. So we thought we were bad having to do 3-hour time difference. I think they have like a 7 or 8 hour time difference that they have to work around for recording. Awesome guys. They play with their parents, which I'm just so jealous. I wish my mom could play Wingspan. Maybe she'll be able to play the new version that was just announced called Wingspan Pocket. So we'll see if that could happen. But yeah, I just love that they're talking about the game. It just makes me feel so happy. I sent them a question of like, do you ever feel like you have to defend your love of Wingspan? Which I do feel like I have to do often. And they're like, nope, never had that experience. And I'm like, see, you guys are living in bliss over there. So I have loved these guys. Please go check out the Full Tuck podcast if you are a Wingspan fan like myself. All right, we're under an hour right now. Can we finish off here? The bonus question is, what is your personal favorite piece of content you've created this year? So basically, you and I, Jazz, what's our favorite episode on Board States here that we would encourage new listeners or to go back and listen to? Do you want me to go first?
Yes, please go first.
I got you. Mine is very easy and obvious for me. It is the Family Feud episode. It was part 1 with the lovely Alba. I've already mentioned it a couple times. I want you guys to go back and listen to it. It has the least listens of all of our episodes, and I think it was one of our best. And it kind of blows my mind how that works. But it's part of the Underrated Games episode 15, part 1. I polled like 45 people, and we did a full-on Family Feud episode. There was a lot of data. I spent a lot of times on a spreadsheet figure that out, and I thought it turned out so fun. It was so great to hear the people who did watch it or listen to it and give their responses, and like, how did they not come up with orthogonal? Like, that was so obvious there. But that is the episode 15, part 1. Please go back and listen to that. That is the one I'm most proud of. I thought it was so fun, and Alba, of course, brings a lot of energy that us lamos don't have, because she's just such a professional, amazing voice and personality. But that made it better. So go check that one out.
Yeah, now that you just that was one of our most fun episodes, and that was, it's just what you did to put that together. I think people definitely should be going back and checking that one out. But I'm just so I can mention another episode. You giving your wonderful serenade to our Christmas edition episode, A Board Game Christmas Carol, was a great entry segue. I didn't know what you were going to be busting out, Reggie. And for those listening, I don't always know or ever really know what Reggie's going to be, how he's going to introduce an episode. And I sometimes have to have my mic on mute when he does. And I enjoyed it as much as people who listening enjoyed that little Christmas Carol serenade. I enjoyed it myself as well. So that's another episode that I just enjoyed doing. I like ending out the year, talking about different games.
That was fun. I think we're going to do that every year. That was like really
I like
cool
that idea. The past, present, the future. It was just something unique. And Reggie's the mastermind behind many, if not all, of these episode ideas. So I really liked how you came up with that as well.
Yeah, Jazz does all the editing, so I have to carry my weight by doing something and code up the ideas. So if you don't like an episode topic, you can direct your complaints to me. But that was called A Board Game Christmas Carol, episode 7. It technically was last year, but it was the last episode of 2025. So definitely go back and check that out. Great choice. Awesome. That's our mid-year board game tag. What I will encourage you all who are listening to do is, if you're listening on the YouTube video, will go up, Board States Pod, at Board States Pod. There's also Spotify has comments. Comment your answers below. If you don't want to comment and you want us to, maybe we'll read off maybe my favorite episode. I really encourage, I will read off, if you send something, I will read off an answer next 2 episodes from now. If you do that, email us at boardstatespod@gmail.com. I would love to hear your answers for all these questions. We really have so much fun. So even if you're not a content creator, do it. If you have your own podcast and are listening to this, please do an episode. Do the mid-year board game tag. Do these same questions. We will paste the questions in the description for you to go. Awesome.
Nice.
All right. So we're just going to close out here with our En La Mesa segment. Jazz, would you like to do the honors of going first, talking about Seashells?
Oh, yeah. Seashells is a game that I was actually introduced to at PAX Unplugged last year with my daughter on kids, the family day, which is the Sunday of PAX Unplugged. We got a chance to just demo it briefly. My daughter did. It's one of her highlights of the convention. But, this year we've really got a chance to kind of dive into it. But this is from KTBG Games, Kids Table Board Gaming, from designer Bruno Faidutti. And this is a game is pretty about just taking a stroll on the beach. I know many people have heard of Sanibel. That was probably released earlier this year as well. Mm-hmm. But in this game, you pretty much have a grid. I think like a large tic-tac-toe grid or whatever you want to. And pretty much you have all these various shells that are just, randomly set up onto this board, and there's like a little your little starting tile as a basket, and what you're doing is on your turn you can either go orthogonally up and down or left and right.
Us board gamers know that word,
but in a straight line, right? But you're going in a complete straight line to the left or right or up and down in the row or column that basket is in, and you're placing it on a spot where there's another shell, and you're collecting that shell and you're adding it to your player board. And pretty much what you're doing is you're trying to collect collections of the same colors or the same types of shells. Along with collecting shells, you can collect fish fossils, like the bones of fish. You have like the head and the tail, and you got to connect them together. You'll score points based off of that. And then you're also collecting messages in a bottle, and those messages in the bottle, you can spend them on subsequent turns to take an additional turn on your turn. And the game pretty much ends. The end game trigger is once you can't move that basket in a legal move to collect something on the player board. And what you do, everybody looks at their player board. You pretty much go from top to bottom, left to right, and you say, okay, who has the most scallops? Who has the most cowries, or who has the most whelks? And you're pretty much
I was like, whelks?
Yeah,
I've never heard of a whelk, but it's great.
A lot of these, I've seen these shells. I didn't know what they were called, right?
Which is fun, educational.
Exactly. And you pretty much are going to be scoring your points based off of who has the most. So whoever has the most conches, you're going to get, I think, 3 points. And whoever has the second most is going to get 1 point. If you don't have the first or the second, sorry, out of luck. If there's ties are friendly. Everybody will share the 1 point. And pretty much that's all you're doing. You're just going around. And then you're also looking at the types and then the colors. Whoever has the most and whoever has the most points at the end of the game is going to score. You get your points calculated. Whoever has the most wins the game. But also your fish, when you collect them together, I think there were 3 points at the end, or 2 or 3 points at the end of the game. But there's also like an easy mode, or if you want to, I don't even call it's easy, but it's just the easier setup where you just take all of the shells and tiles and you just randomly place like a circle on your table, and you place the almost, I kind of think of it almost like patchwork a little bit, but you have your basket at the starting spot, and pretty much you can go move that any 1 to 3 spaces forward and then collect that shell and add it to your player board and do the same thing. You're just going round and round
like a rondelle, kind of
like a rondelle. And once the basket crosses the start space 3 times, the end game is over, and then you just calculate your scores same way as you did in the previous game. I think I love what KTBG does when it comes with their games, where they have like a basic mode for people to kind of kids to learn the game, and then your more advanced mode to kind of advance the scoring levels a little bit to keep parents. I like what they do. They keep parents engaged with the game. So I remember speaking to Helena over there at KTBG, and she says our mode in our games when we create these lines is for the games to have a mode that's easy for kids to enjoy and sit down at the table with their parents, but the game not be too simplistic where parents aren't enjoying themselves at the table.
Yeah,
right.
That's great. It's like one of those animated movies, like a Pixar movie, where it's like,
correct,
if you have nothing for the parents, like why do the parents want to take the kids there? They're going to be bored to tears. You got to have a couple adult jokes in there.
And this is a game that I'll gladly sit down. It's quick enough that I can play with just adults. Like and it's lightweight enough that it doesn't have to be for kids. I guess it's not even really geared towards kids, but being part of Kids Table Wargaming, it's accessible to younger kids.
For sure.
And my daughter loves this game. She'll pull it out anytime. And I love seeing her take it there, set up the game herself. My 3-year-old daughter knows how to set up this game. And they just I see that on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, I'll wake up and they're at the dining room table, like setting up a game. And this is one of the games they'll set up frequently.
Love it. Yeah. It also looks like it's in beta on Board Game Arena, so I might have to try that out on Board Game Arena.
Yeah, we'll definitely check game out.
Yeah, let's do that. Looking at it on BGG, I really like that it's all wooden components for the shells instead of like a cardboard tiles. Love it. That's great. I had not even really heard of that, so shout out to Seashells. Okay, Jazz has not heard of this one here. We're talking about, as of yesterday at the time of recording, the Spiel des Jahres 2026 winner, JinxO. Okay, this game just won the Spiel, and it is called JinxO in the United States, and most places in Germany where it was nominated, it's called Ditto, which I think is a clever name here. It's called JinxO because it's kind of got like you're trying to match with one specific person, like a Jinx, and also it's got some bingo elements, okay? It's like bingo mixed with 3 of a kind or green team wins. It's like bingo mixed with green team wins. That's a good way to put it, actually. So what's gonna happen is word association, very typical. You're gonna have these categories, and I think the first thing that I think sets this game apart is the categories are really, really unique. I actually just pulled out 3 random cards here, and I'm just going to read you some of them that I thought were just so fun. Disney princesses that annoy you, gambling games, animals that would win in a dance battle, places to hide a weapon, like really fun ones. We had to kind of go through and find ones that were appropriate for 10-year-olds. We had 2 10-year-olds with us this weekend. I have played this game about 12 times now, and I bought it last week. So let's just throw that out there, okay? 4 to 7
Another
players.
got 5 here.
Another got 5, yeah. 4 to 7 players. I bought this with my own hard-earned cash, okay? And I want to shout out, the designer's name is Martin Ang, and his publishing company is Tabletoys, and his dream is to become like a Stonemaier Games or a CMYK, and he's from Indonesia. He is the sole publisher in the entire country of Indonesia. To get it, he explained it in an interview that to buy a game like Agricola in Indonesia is about 20% of your monthly salary of the average person. So now imagine that heavy Euro games cost that much in your country. So he loves to play heavy Euro games, but he's mostly focusing on games that are affordable, that can be produced fast and can be exported. And it must be such a dream for him to win the Spiel des Jahres. I'm just so happy for after learning about this guy's publishing company and the country that he comes from. It's so awesome. But the game really plays well when you read out these, let's say, gambling games, right? Just think of 3 answers in your head right now, Jazz. What do you think about it? Think of 3 gambling games, and then you do that 3 times and you write down 9 answers in a 3x3 grid. You can put them anywhere you want on your little board. And then player by player, you read aloud any of the 9 answers, okay? And it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. You can read any from the 3 rounds. There's a little bit of categories when it comes to this. It feels very much like categories when you throw out an answer and you're hoping that no one gets it in categories. In this one, you're hoping that other people said your answer, okay? We've played a lot of games like that. I've talked about that before. Where it has a little bit of edge here is if only exactly one other person had the same answer as you, you get a jinx. You say jinx and you get some bonus points, which is great. And you circle the answer if anybody else did it, you cross it out if nobody did it. And you just keep going around until someone has completed their board, which could be before you had a chance to do it. So it's like answers you feel really confident about, you'll want to say sooner because you're like, I want to get this circled. And you can kind of save the answers you didn't like because you're picking 3 answers for each category, which is really interesting too. So you go around, and then what ends up happening is if you circled 3 in a row, kind of like Super Mega Lucky Box, there's some bonus 3 points. If you got 3 in a row in the top row, the middle row is 2 points, the bottom row is 1 point. Then the left column is 1 point, the middle column is 2 points, the right column is 3 points. So the most valuable square in the 9 is the top right corner because it affects the 3 column and the 3 row. Are you kind of looking at it on BGG here? You see it?
Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like turns all these word association games like Green Team Wins or Herd Mentality, and it just makes it a little gamery. I think it just gives it that little gamer edge. I'm really excited to bring this to a dad weekend with all my buddies. It's going to be absolutely hilarious. The feeling you get when you yell out blackjack and and one other person at the table thought about blackjack, it feels so good. You just big high five. We both get the jinx points. I will say the only downside is if you just throw something out, my father-in-law, who's almost 70 now, it was fictional dogs, okay? I'm saying Clifford the Big Red Dog. My 10-year-old nieces said Bluey. There was a lot of that. And he said Underdog, which I think is a cartoon from like the 70s or 80s. And he just throws out this matzo ball and nobody else said it. So there is that moment of like, you kind of throw out something and you feel like dumb for saying an answer that nobody else came up with. But also, a lot of the times people will say an answer and everybody's like, you know what? That was a great answer. Family Feud style, like great answer, great answer. I just didn't think of it. And it's just great. I can't even express how happy I am it won the Spiel des Jahres. It was up against Cozy Stickerville and Morty Sorty Magic Shop, which I have not played. I think we talked about it in the Board Game Awards episode. So shout out to JinxO. I bought this with my own money and I couldn't be happier. I think it now crowns that spot. Even after only 10 plays, I think it takes over for me in the word association slot, which is a lot because like So Clover is my GOAT right now. I think I love So Clover. I love Three of a Kind. And this kind of does what those two do. So Clover gamifies the word association game. Three of a Kind has like fun categories and it feels like and has laugh out loud moments. I think JinxO has both those things. So now this is my new personal favorite word association party game, 4 to 7 players, JinxO.
Oh yeah, this is good. This looks really, really good. The moment you said Green Team wins, I was all ears. And then
Yeah.
and then when you showed me this little tic-tac-toe version
Yes,
that made me
tic-tac-toe is
think,
good, yeah.
just made me think, and then obviously you said it without me even mentioning it, was
Yeah.
Super Mega Lucky Box, which is a game that I love, absolutely
Yeah.
adore. Yeah, it's just another auto ad.
Yeah, we really need to, we need someone to email us. Anybody comment or email us, we'll do it. One email and we'll do it. We need to do, if these two games had a baby like that.
Oh,
I
yes.
think that would be a fun.
Yes.
I think this is like if Game Team wins and Super Mega Lucky Box had a baby, you'd have JinxO. And I have so many other answers for that. That would be a really fun episode. Somebody email
That would
us.
be a fun episode. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Maybe we'll do it with a guest. Okay, we just hit over an hour. I can't believe it. I'm very proud of us. Thank you, Jazz. Would you like to play us out?
Yeah, as always, before we close out, we want to give a huge shout out and thanks to our podcast music from my buddy, aka Judge, at Dre the Producer on Instagram, and Kenan at Punchboard Cathedral for our awesome board game logo. And we also thank you guys because you could be listening to so many other things, but you're here listening to us talk about the best hobby in the world. Again, but when you choose to listen to us here, we appreciate it. We appreciate it so much right here on the Board States podcast, where friends become rivals and board states decide the outcome. We will catch you guys on the next one.
Nos vemos.